This PAX preview is brought to you by Netflix.
Very happy to be joined by Nathan Vella, the co-founder of Cappy Games. I think I can call you guys an indie darling. Is that okay?
I like to be called a darling by anyone, especially you. So
okay, good.
Let's call me a darling, and then we'll leave it at that. And you can, the indie part works too, but.
All right, and with that uncomfortable beginning, let's talk about your new game, Super Time Force.
Yeah.
How would you characterize it? I have many words to use for this.
So, it's a game about single-player co-op. It's like a run-and-gun action platformer in the vein of Gunstar Heroes or Contra, games that we all super loved at the studio, except that you have control over time. So when you die, or even whenever you just want to, you can press a button and enter a mode where you control time. And so you can rewind back, start again, choose a new character, and then you're playing alongside all of the past versions of yourself. So like if you had a character who ran through, killed a couple enemies, if you rewind back, they'll still run through and kill those enemies for you. So you're really playing with yourself, which sounds not like what I mean it, but.
All right. Good for you. What I find really interesting is obviously the idea of rewinding in a game, it's not brand new. It was used, obviously, Prince of Persia is the first one that comes to mind. But that usually is used so much for puzzles.
Yeah.
And here, this is not a puzzle-based game. This is really kind of for the player to find their own inventions with this one mechanic.
Absolutely. It lets you either decide I want to handle a scenario in a completely different way, or it lets you say like, oh my gosh, I made a huge mistake and I want to correct that mistake. But it also lets you just kind of like play however you want. If you want to like run in this game and mash some buttons and try to blow stuff up, the rewind mechanic lets you kind of like get through the scenarios that are a little bit tougher because you're just adding more characters to it. You have help every time you die. There's more versions of you adding to that kind of like army of yous. And so death becomes like a gameplay mechanic rather than a punishment almost.
And also the characters that you can choose from, they all behave very, very differently. So you're opening up types of strategies that you can kind of have your defensive guy and your explosion guy, all lined up.
And on top of that, like we have 8 characters that we're showing here. There's probably going to be 15 plus in the final game because they're just so fun to make and there's so many variations that we can do. But there's another mechanic in the game where if you save a guy from dying by killing the enemy that would have killed them before he killed them, that means that person never died. And so if you do that, you can actually team up with them and you get their powers as well. So you can actually like create these like custom characters almost where it's like a defensive character with a sniper with a splash damage character all at once, and that's how the power-ups in the game kind of work. So you actually get a chance to like create these weird custom combo characters while having all the different variations there as well. So I think it ends up being this like crazy, bombastic thrill extravaganza of like there's so much crap on the screen at once, and it's fun because of that.
Yes, there's a lot going on, and you're doing it in a hyper-pixelated look. How do you balance a game with that many different characters, on top of also kind of joining the character powers the other than one? I mean, this is looks like a fun, slight game, but that's not easy.
Oh no, it's super duper challenging, but at the same time, we have this like kind of like ability to balance it to make it like if a player knows how to deal with all of these things, they know how to build a team up like a custom character, they know how to like pick the right character for the right scenario, it should be easier for them. They've figured that out. They've gone through the process of like learning and fine-tuning the strategy of the game, then I'm totally okay with it being easy. Or if people want to like just go in and mash buttons and not really care about the game, we're okay with it being harder for them. So I think a lot of the balance comes from letting people figure it out, and then if they can actually go through that whole process, being okay with it actually becoming a little bit less challenging or a little bit more challenging. That and a whole ton of hard work and play testing out the butt. I really think that like games have an opportunity to show players that the development team is having fun making them. Yeah. And I think that actually matters, and I think that actually comes through. And that's one of the biggest advantages of smaller and or independent games is that it's easier to do that. You can put a little bit more of the studio personality into it, and that's what this game is in a nutshell. It started out as a little game jam game that a couple guys in the studio made and just kind of built out into this thing where it was an opportunity for us to make a bunch of crazy jokes into a video game, and that's fun.
All right, so when do you see this game becoming available, and how will it be available?
So it's coming to Xbox Live Arcade first, and it'll be out this year, hopefully in the next matter of months.
All right.
There's not that much time left in the year, so hopefully that's short enough for y'all.
All right, I'm not going to do a really crappy fast-forward pun to encourage you to get everything done. Yeah. I'm just going to say thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Adam.
Hey, are you liking our PAX coverage and you would like to support Rev3 Games? Yes, you do. then why not sign up for Netflix? With Netflix, you can stream TV episodes and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. It's also the only place to watch exclusive shows like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. Best of all, you can get a free trial membership and support Rev3 Games by signing up at netflix.com/Rev3Games.